The No Nonsense Roundtable, a weekly radio show and podcast where host Dom Geneva interviews guests from all walks of life, all with amazing stories to tell. And now, here's your host, Dom Geneva.
Well, welcome to our next section of why we should be grateful to be in Western New York, because we have a lot of things to do in the winter. And part of this is, like I said before, that we were going to have somebody from the Corning Museum of Glass come on and talk about their organization, because like the Strong Museum of Play, the National Strong Museum of Play, they have heat. and you can do this when you really don't feel like going outside and spending a lot of time in the snow and fighting the cold. And I have Ann Campbell on the line here, or the Zoom, and she is the communications director for the Corning Museum of Glass, a wonderful place that, is open in the winter as well as the summer. So there you go. So how you doing?
I am great today. How are you, Dom?
Good. Now, the question I like asking people when they first come on usually is when somebody's the personality not speaking for a group. But what did you want to do when you were young, when you were like 10 years old? Have you had a straight path or a crooked path?
Actually, pretty straight. So when I was a little girl, I liked to write. I always liked to write, and wrote stories and little novels that never went anywhere. And then I went into communication, and I'm still writing.
So how long have you been doing this for the what CMOG? How do you call this?
Yeah, so it's the Corning Museum of Glass, and the initials are CMOG. So we call it CMOG, which is kind of a funny acronym, but one we've used for a long time. And I have been with the organization for 9 years.
Well, and what before that?
So before that, I did consulting work primarily when my kids were young, and then I've been marketing directors for different organizations. Yeah.
Good for you.
Fun work.
So the people on the radio aren't going to be able to see your face, obviously, because it's radio. But looking at you with Zoom here, what a smile on your face. You must love what you do.
I really do. It's a great organization, and the people I work with are amazing. And every day there is something innovative and creative going on.
So how long is the museum been around? When was it established?
Well, so glad you asked. This is actually our 75th year.
Yeah, it's 75th year. Wow.
Yeah, so we are in the midst of a big celebration this year. We were formed in 1951. Corning Glass Works, which is now Corning Incorporated. Most of you will know us for our Pyrex, and now the Corning used to be in consumer wares and now does a lot of science glass. So like the Gorilla Glass that you have on your phone was likely made by Corning. They do fiber optics and all sorts of, they're really a material science corporation. They formed the museum in 1951 in celebration of their 100th anniversary. So that corporation is now 175 years old, and we're celebrating our 75th.
So what originally, where was the genesis of Corning? The company itself? I mean, you find these companies that have morphed over the years, but what was the one product that they did way back when they first started?
So Corning is a really interesting story in that actually started as the Brooklyn Flint Glass Company. And there was a patent holder here in Corning that sort of worked a deal with a guy who owned this Brooklyn Flint Glass Company and made a deal to bring the company to Corning on barges up the Erie Canal, down through the waterways of central New York. And landed here in Corning, where there was rich, the waterways were strong, and the coal was plentiful, and the wood was plentiful. Glass is a very resource intensive industry. Needs a lot of fire to make a lot of glass. And basically, Corning became the Crystal City because the corporation was making these glass making blanks that were then carved into crystal cut glass works and wares. A lot of immigrants came from Germany and Ireland and France to cut glass here because they were expert in that. So the whole industry built up around that. But then Corning Glassworks at the time, they moved into science glass. So they made
Ah,
these Fresnel glass lights that basically were the way that the railways were.
lighthouses.
Yeah, the lighthouses
Yeah.
and the railroads. And then they got into light
Ah,
bulbs. So they worked with Edison to create the first light bulbs. It's really been,
yeah.
one innovation after another since then.
Yeah, the Fresno glass. It's Fresno. That's the way you pronounce it,
Fresnel,
right?
yep.
Yeah, anybody that doesn't know what it does, and correct me if I'm wrong, what it does, it takes the light and it kind of makes almost like a laser out of it.
Yeah,
It points it in a certain direction. So when you're in a lighthouse, you can see it from miles and miles and miles away. It's just spread out all over the place. And
and
that in the day, yeah, in the day, that was a big deal.
it was from it's prismatic, I think, is what it is.
Yeah,
So
that's
it's the
yeah.
way that the
There you go.
that
That's
the
the way to explain it.
yeah that the light refracts is very cool.
So
And
you
then
have. I'm
go ahead.
sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say Corning also began making blanks for telescopes. Well,
Hmm.
at least in the 1930s, we made this huge 200-inch disc. There's the first failed attempt is here in the museum. It was one of our first
Oh,
objects in
really?
our collection, and the
Ah.
successful blank is still working 70, almost 80 years later at Mount Palomar in
Mm.
California
Oh, yeah.
in the Hale telescope. So
Oh,
really,
yeah.
so yeah,
Cool.
that's one of Corning's early innovations.
Well, the great thing about your and we talked about this in the last segment with the Museum of Play is that this is something that you can go see it. It's like children of all ages. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it's something that yeah, it's something you can go to, something you can bring your kids to, and then you find yourself where in some of these organizations, I mean, you guys get it. I mean, you have the people that come, and then you have their kids, and you have their kids. It becomes a family thing from year to year, and from generation to generation. It's really cool.
yeah. Actually, we hear that a lot.
Mm.
People who visited here when they were kids, and they come back, and it's completely different. This place
Hmm.
is orders of magnitude different than it was when I was a kid visiting. And there were some things that remained the same. I could still go see what we used to call the big cheese, which is that 200-inch disc.
Oh yeah,
It kind
yeah,
of looks like that.
yeah.
But in addition to that, we have glass making all day, every day, live
Hmm.
demonstrations. So if you really want to get warmed up this winter, I mean,
Oh
what
yeah,
better way to do it than to be in front of a
yeah.
furnace making glass? And interestingly, in 1951, when this institution opened, there was live glass making then. So, you might watch a flame worker make really cool little animals. We have pictures of people in the 50s being mesmerized by that making. And today, people still come and have the wonder of watching glass being made.
So what is the main now let's separate a little bit about from the art to the business side of this. Now, Corning itself, what is Corning itself making these days as as a main product?
It's Corning Incorporated, and again, we are
Yeah.
completely separate entities. Does most of their focus is on fiber optics. So
Hmm.
they're delivering new fiber optic technology to the world, which connects the world, and it really makes everything that we're
Yep.
doing today possible. Right? We would not be having this Zoom conversation if it were not. I mean, that's what enables Wi-Fi and the internet.
Well, I tell this story all the time on this show is that you have to understand what your product is. Is that, unfortunately, with Kodak, they thought their product was pictures on pieces of paper. No, it's not. It's imaging. Okay. So it's the same thing with you. It's glass and things having to do with glass and fiber optics, and have you morphed. And the company morphed. Now this separate entity that you're talking about, the Museum of Glass, is a fascinating place that has grown over the years. Now it is substantially different than it was years ago. When was your major expansion? Because I know there was a big
So,
expansion.
so we've had several expansions through the years.
Mhm.
The most recent huge expansion was in 2015. So 10 years ago, we built,
Mhm.
actually, we remade that factory that was
Mhm.
the glass making where visitors watched glass being made in 1951 was the
Okay.
Steuben factory that was remade into the world's largest hot glass amphitheater for viewing glassmaking. And in addition to that, we built a 200,000 square foot gallery, which is just it's air filled and light filled. It's huge. So you walk in and see it's all white space, kissed by light. The architecture is remarkable. So if you haven't, for those who visited here as a kid but haven't been back in the last 10 or 15 years, it is a completely transformed facility, and it's you wouldn't believe it. It's amazing. So you walk in and these towering glass sculptures, color, light, again, facets of all imaginable. Whatever an artist can dream up is on view in this in the galleries. And then, of course, we have our historic galleries where you see 35 centuries of glass and people's, mankind's relationship with glass over time. From the ancient Egyptians to the Roman glass, before glass blowing became a thing, they would have cast glass making. It's really, really cool to imagine that the tools that the glassmaker uses today are very much the same as what the ancient Romans used in their hot glass making workshops.
Well, you have artifacts from the past too. I mean, things that let's go through some of the departments, if you will. Let's take a walk, a mental walk through what you have there when you get there. Listen, open the door and there you go, and you get. I got a ticket. Where am I going?
Okay. Well, first of all, we start in our admissions lobby where we have this enormous, beautiful Dale Chihuly sculpture. It is iconic to the museum. It's called Ferngrast Tower, and it is absolutely beautiful and stunning. And you can see it from the highway as you drive by. So it's just really large. Anyway, the galleries are our contemporary gallery that I just talked about, which leads you into this amphitheater where all day long our hot glass team and our hot glass team was featured pretty prominently in the Netflix series Blown Away. I don't know whether you heard of that, but that's something that we partnered with a production company out of Canada to do 4 seasons of a glassmaking competition show. It wasn't filmed here; it was filmed in Canada, in Hamilton, Ontario. But it was, but we were featured as sort of the team that came to assist those final 2 finalists and be the winner makers. And then the winner of each season came to perform and do glassmaking in that amphitheater as a guest artist. And then we have our Hall of Science, which is where the amazing 200-inch disc is, and then all of the all of the innovations in glass over centuries, mostly the last 100 years, let's just say. It's just fascinating. I mean, you can see tempered glass, and there's a glass breaking demonstration, and it's just really fascinating. There really is something for everyone here. And then you move into the 35 centuries of glass, where you go from the oldest known glass made by, there's also some natural occurring glass made by lightning or volcanic activity. If sand meets heat, that's what makes glass. Very simplified. And in fact, we have an exhibit now that is, what is glass? How is glass made? How do you change the color? It's all different formulas. Glass making is a very scientific process. It's very, very creative, very artistic, but you have to know the science or you can't work with the material. It just doesn't work. But then in addition to that, that's the viewing part of the museum. We have an incredible shop. We have a really great cafe, but we also have a glassmaking school. So,
really?
Yeah. So in 2024, we completed the doubling in size of our studio, which is a full-fledged glassmaking school from it's for the novice. We have make your own glass experiences. So any visitor who walks in our door can sign up to make a glass ornament or a melded glass, a project, or work on flame working. Anyone can do it. And people do it, like a third of the people who visit the museum do these make your own glass experiences. And then if you want a little bit more, you can sign up for a week long or a day long or a weekend long workshop. And then we now have, as a result of this expansion, we have a 2-year certificate program so that students who really want to learn everything that they can learn about glassmaking can do that. And the other really cool part of this expansion is the addition of a casting center, which is the only one of its kind in North America. So most cast glass artists, and that's basically they pour the glass into a really big mold, but to make really large scale cast glass artwork, you would have to go to Eastern Europe. That was all there is to it until 2024, when we've completed this facility here in Corning. And now artists can come to us and work with our technicians to, realize their designs and their visions in glass, in cast glass. And then there's more. You go ahead.
Oh, yeah, keep on going. No, keep on.
This is sort of the last sort of final big piece of the museum
ahead.
is the Raykow Research Library. So not only are we the foremost museum on the material of glass in the world, we have the foremost library on glass in the world.
Okay.
And what that means is if there is a book that has anything to do with glass, or it has ever existed that we know about, we have it in our collection. You can research, a glassmaking workshop that existed in Rochester in the early 1800s.
Yeah.
You can find, we have all of just an amazing archive of collections, all about glass, like from the very rude chemical transcriptions on really, really ancient books. It's very cool.
Do you have events during the years? Do you have any fundraisers?
Oh my gosh, do we ever? Well, and this year is a really, really big year for that.
I have to be a communications director's love. You know what I mean? I just keep on giving you softballs. Do you have any way that you make money? Oh yes, we make money.
So this year, especially, you can imagine all of the exciting programming that we are doing for our 75th anniversary. But we actually have a brand new director, a new president and executive director who's starting this week. She just joined us, and we're really, really excited to have her. But we're going to be introducing her to our community and kicking off 75 years at the Corning Museum of Glass with a really special event on February 20th called CMOG 75. It's going to be an evening. Yeah, it's going to be amazing. We have tickets available. They're really just a nominal charge. We've already have over 700 people signed up to come. It's going to be a really big bash that will be filled with, live music, live glassmaking. The galleries will be open. People will just be milling around. It's going to be a really great celebration, and what a wonderful way to warm up winter.
And what time is the affair? From when to when?
So it is the Friday, February 20th from 7 to 9 p.m. And actually there's a special portion where our new director, Jessica Martinez, will be introduced to the community at 6 o'clock. So the tickets, actually, you can buy tickets for the 6 to 9 or the 7 to 9, whichever.
It sounds like something that Nita and I would like to do. I mean, and there are plenty of restaurants around there that are very nice restaurants, and spend the evening.
Spend the evening with us. I will send you a link afterwards to the so you can sort of get the lay of the land and understand what the event is.
Do not offer me free tickets, because I do not take free tickets from anybody.
Okay.
Seriously,
I would, absolutely.
I do not. No, I don't want anybody questioning why I'm doing something. I'm doing because I like it, not because somebody's bribing me.
Well, if you decide to come, though, please let me know so that I can.
Well, at the very least, I would like an introduction to your new director there, and it does sound like something that's fascinating to do, especially, like I said, because the weather is the way it is, and with that, there's something that there's something that you don't have. At least I don't think you have. You don't have a parking garage, right?
We do not have.
Okay, you don't have a parking. So the Museum of Play has a parking garage. So that's one thing they have on you that you don't have.
You know what else we have? We have free parking.
Yes.
It may not be covered, but it's free.
Oh, you are. you're very talented at what you do. Free parking, free parking, exhibitions you can participate in, a lovely idea of science, a beautiful new facility just down the road, and in climate controlled heat.
Yeah,
So
heat all day, I promise
yeah.
that. And the other thing, that special party is the culmination of what we call our winter break week, which is
Okay.
programming for all day, every day, for kids who are out of school. It includes Marvelous Marble Day, lots of hands-on activity, and what we're calling our arty party.
You're
Just fun
already
party activities. There's
already
a balloon sculpture that guests are going to be able to make on the February
yeah.
19th and 20th, so right before that big party. So it really is going to be very special,
Yeah.
culminating time.
Well, great. Thank you ever so much for coming on the show. And I'm so happy that I decided to do this because now I found out about this thing you're having on the 20th, and it sounds really great. I mean, so WYSL has coverage all over Rochester, and it does, and WLEA is in Hornell. So, we're gonna see,
It's
see
not too
some.
far to come,
It's
truly. No,
not too far to come. But if we're gonna come, I would imagine you probably at this thing in the evening have some adult beverages, hopefully.
there will be indeed.
Okay, well then we're staying the night. I'm using
Spend the
my
night.
Marriott points to stay someplace. So
Absolutely.
thank you ever so much for coming on the show. It was delightful meeting you. The smile on your face is just marvelous, and thank you for what you do. This is
Well,
this is this is good stuff, and we'll see you on the 20th.
thanks so much for the chat, Don. It's been great to talk to you.
Thanks.
Thanks for listening. You can find our previous shows at nononsenseroundtable.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll make more.